Michelin dealers.
All right, what's going on in the Northeast as we continue to find plenty of rainfall for you, mainly in New Jersey right now. This is Doppler radar estimates, and it's I've looked at the time on this thing. It's 5 hours old, and you start getting into these yellows and oranges. The maximum on the Doppler that was estimating here was 4.1 inches. So that is a tremendous amount of rain. Again, here's Middlesex County, Union County, Essex County. All these storms continue to fire. And look at this. There's more action moving up from Philly over these areas. If you are heading west out of the city this evening in the Middlesex, Union, or Essex County, there are several roads that are underwater here due to tremendous rainfall in a very, very short period of time. We'll have more radars for you at the top of the hour. But as we look southwards, showers and storms are...
A comprehensive report on national weather is just ahead on Weatherstone.
Another winning disasters next, Jenny Jones.
Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with Scott Palmer, Dave Roberts, Lisa Thomas-Laurie, and Mark Howard.
Good evening. In the news tonight, has ignited a gasoline storage tank at the Shell oil refinery in Woodbridge, New Jersey. That's in Middlesex County. Officials say the fire is, at this hour, burning out of control, with flames reaching hundreds of feet into the air. Now, the entire Woodbridge Fire Department and those of surrounding communities have been called to the scene. There are no reports of any casualties thus far, and we, of course, will have more on this developing story as it becomes available.
Bees buzzing around their yard this summer, but not New Jersey farmers. They're having a bee shortage, and Kathy Gandolfo says it may cost us all a lot of money.
Honeybees are a farmer's best friend. They pollinate crops, and without them, some fruits and vegetables would not exist.
But a mite has been attacking the honeybee population nationwide, killing millions.
That's not good at all. I see something killed that bee.
Cherry Hill farmer Tom Jarvis rents beehives from beekeepers each year to help pollinate his fruits and vegetables. But this year, beekeepers are having trouble meeting the demand. The Varroa mite is killing the bee larvae and the trachea mite, the adults.
Devastating problem with the mite situation with honeybees. It's not a disease, it's another insect, actually, so they need some sort of an insecticide to kill the mites without harming the bees, and they haven't found it yet.
Bees can be raised in labs, but it's expensive. Beekeepers like Tony Buzzes, who supply farmers, usually catch swarms of bees in the wild, and that can be just about anywhere. This swarm was spotted at a South Philadelphia industrial site today, and Buzzes was vacuuming them into a box. Eventually, they'll go to a farm. But Buzzes says this is only the third time this year he's been called to collect a swarm of bees, compared to last year this time when he got 8 to 10 calls a day. This is the swarming season, but the mites are severely hindering that.
I've lost about 80% of my managed colonies, and that's putting a big stress on honey production and also, more importantly, on crop pollination.
According to beekeepers and farmers, if you see a swarm of honeybees, leave them alone. Chances are they'll be gone in a day or two. If not, rather than have them exterminated, call someone to remove them alive so the bees can continue their work in nature. I'm Kathy Gandolfo, Channel 6 Action News, Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Upper high. And this is where the action is. And notice the daytime heating setting both areas off. Whew. Busy.
Which of
There is some traffic trouble up there because lightning hit that oil tank, and so it goes there, huh?
Some thunderstorms kind of rumbling through the area. Let's go to Action Radar right away now, and you see the movement of the systems. You see how they're clearing out. Came out of Chester on into Montgomery. Now they're going to the north up to Bucks and over to the northwest there, moving out of the area as we clear out. Let's go live at Sky 6 right now. There's the airport. We'll take a look and try and find the city skyline, and we'll show you the numbers. 82 degrees, that was the high, 302 this afternoon. The low, 69 degrees, 620 this morning. Present temperature reading is 75. Winds out of the south-southeast, 14 miles an hour. Tonight, we're going to post thunderstorms. We're through with round one at the Piers. Warm and muggy night, 68 degrees. Could have one closer to 11 o'clock tonight. Going to the ball game at the Vet. Take along the rain gear. For tomorrow, more spotty thunderstorms, a continuation of warm and humid weather. And on Thursday, 84 degrees with more thunderstorms possible. Friday, 84. Less humid. By Friday, we hope to have moved this system out of the area. Well, the winds are the damaging part of any storm, and the range of their force is a very broad force. The AccuFacts file takes a look at the winds of destruction. A winter blizzard can be an icy blast, but the winds usually top out at about 70 miles an hour. And a hurricane's winds can go up to 220 miles an hour, as in Hurricane Andrew. That speed, though, is only an estimate since no wind measuring device has ever survived gusts that high. We encounter thunderstorms the most. Now, winds inside them can range from 20 miles an hour to 70 miles an hour during straight-line bursts. Unless those storms turn their worst and become a tornado, the king of wind power, speeds there can reach 320 miles an hour. Again, that top speed is just an estimate. So thunderstorms, most of them just about moving out of the area now, the immediate Philadelphia and tri-state area, but there's possibly another round coming later on tonight. We'll talk about that when we take a look at the 5-day at 6.
All right.
And now I hear we just moved Woodbridge up another 2 exits to exit 11 on the turnpike.
Well, you have your choice.
Yeah.
Exit. Good.
Hopefully we don't have to move it anymore.
There is traffic up there.
Health checks coming
In Maryland, also a possible tornado in Bedford County in Pennsylvania, and heavy rains. Looks like these cells are going to merge up on the Delaware Water Gap, so flooding maybe on I-80.
At Michelin, we believe it.
Action News, Delaware Valley's leading news program, with Gary Papa, Dave Roberts, and Jim Gardner.
Tuesday night, crews removed that pile of potatoes in Strawberry Mansion, and in Harrisburg, a House vote for more school funding. But the big story in Action News tonight is word of a deal between the U.S. Attorney and the suspects in the
In this area, many are deciding to live on their own. Others are just watching as curious to see what's going to happen now. With a look at how this is doing to traffic in the area, here's Joe Nolan with Metro Traffic. Joe?
All right, David, we're going to go now airborne and take a look at the New Jersey Turnpike. And where we are here is pretty much all the way up by Linden Airport. Very heavy and slow traffic as you begin to travel southbound. The Turnpike people are saying that this is pretty much at this point from interchange 13A all the way down to 12. Both the inner and outer roadways are going to be a mess, as you see there. Now, we are getting telephone calls from some people who are now telling us that it's taking them an hour and a half to get from the sports complex down to interchange 12, a trip that would normally take less than a half an hour at the normal speed at 55 miles an hour. Now, people are starting to hear about this on television, radio, and what they're doing is they're going over to the Garden State Parkway. That is hammered as well, pretty much at this point from 140 all the way on down to the merge of the New Jersey Turnpike. So if you're heading southbound on the Turnpike or southbound on the Parkway, you've got a real big mess trying to get down into the bottom of Middlesex County and then over the Raritan River. For Eyewitness News, I'm Joe Nolan.
Okay, Joe, thank you very much. So to sum up just very briefly, there is fire at an oil refinery in New Jersey, in Woodbridge, New Jersey. It is firemen from all around, firefighters from all around the area have been called in to try and bring it under control. It is not yet under control. We'll have more on the fire during the course of this broadcast. New Jersey State Police are
Jersey and North Jersey are battling a huge fire at a Shell oil storage tank tonight. Witnesses say lightning sparked the fire in the 70,000-gallon tank containing diesel fuel. Flames and thick black smoke can be seen for miles around. The entire Woodbridge Fire Department and neighboring fire departments are on the scene. Nobody has been hurt, but traffic has been slowed dramatically on the nearby New Jersey Turnpike. Atlantic City Police are...
You can search far and wide.
The 10 o'clock news starts now.
Millions of gallons of gasoline on fire. A town in New Jersey holds its breath, hoping it won't spread to homes. And the doctor is ducking us, but we have the explosive sex tapes to put him on trial. Good evening. More on the exclusive sex tape trial of a doctor in a moment. First, the very latest on that spectacular explosion and fire that has kept the town of New Jersey on edge all evening.
Lightning touched off the fire in a storage tank. First reports had it filled with diesel fuel. It turns out it's really filled with 3 million gallons of gasoline. Some of the homes around the Shell refinery in Woodbridge have been evacuated. Bob O'Brien is there with the very latest now. Bob.
Rosanna, this inferno has been blazing away for about 6 hours now. And as you can see from a live helicopter shot, this is a sight that can be seen from miles around. As darkness fell, the bright light of this blazing tank fire can be seen for quite a distance. And it shows no signs of darkening down either because there is so much fuel to feed this fire. A lightning bolt hit the huge storage tank at 4:15 this afternoon, triggering a thunderous explosion as 3 million gallons of gasoline lit up like a giant Roman candle, sending a column of flame and smoke hundreds of feet into the air. The top of the 4 million gallon storage tank was ripped off by the blast, which was heard and felt by anyone within a mile of the 17-tank Shell oil storage facility. Nearby tanks containing millions of gallons of gasoline, jet fuel, and raw materials for processing gasoline are being cooled by streams of water from fire truck power ladders. Woodbridge Mayor James McGreevy says those other tanks are the biggest worry.
We're attempting to drain down the liquid in the burning tank as well as drain the tanks in the immediate adjacent area to reduce the threat and the probability of an explosion.
But that tank draining operation stopped because of fears that empty tanks pose a greater threat of fumes and explosions.
The Township of Woodbridge is requesting that this area be evacuated. If you have someplace that you can go, it's recommended that you do so.
Residents who live in a 6-block radius of the burning tank are being ordered to evacuate. Manny Villegas and his family aren't happy about having to leave their home behind, but they're taking their valuables just in case. I mean, are you worried about coming back and finding the house gone if the rest of this tank farm goes?
I'm taking all my stuff. Everything's going. Wedding gowns, wedding albums, everything.
Shell Oil says that none of its workers at the tank farm were injured or are known to have been injured when this explosion happened, but we are being told that 2 public service electric and gas company workers were electrocuted, but not fatally, when a power transformer exploded as they were up on a utility pole trying to cut off power to the area around the fire. We hope to have more information on those workers and their conditions later on in the 10 o'clock news. In Woodbridge, New Jersey, Bob O'Brien, Fox News. Rosanna, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Bob. And the same storm that roared through New Jersey and started that Woodbridge fire also started one at the Bayway refinery in Linden. Lightning hit there just before 4 o'clock. A furnace area caught fire, but firefighters got there very quickly and put it out before it could spread.
Well, Rosanna, these fires show just how dangerous lightning and thunderstorms can be. Nick is here now with the first on Fox forecast. Nick?
And John, it wasn't even a real line of severe thunderstorms, just a cluster of thunderstorms, as we can see on the radar from about 3:55 this afternoon, Woodbridge being right under the main cluster of storms here, and then little other clusters that extended on up towards Morris County in New Jersey, and these moved fairly rapidly to the north during most of the afternoon. So again, not a big storm, but again, lightning strikes in some of these storms, especially with the juicy tropical air that we have on top of us, can be quite numerous as these storms move off to the north. Now again, here are the storms that moved through northern Jersey. They kind of fizzled out in the lower Hudson Valley, somewhere out in Pennsylvania. We're not completely out of this weather pattern yet, so we'll look for cloudy and humid weather tonight with areas of fog as it stays in the upper 60s. That low, though, is still spinning. It's out in northern Indiana, bringing up the tropical air. You got it. Tomorrow's another day of humidity and late afternoon thunderstorms. I'll get more specific on our 5-day forecast a little later in the 10 o'clock news. John, Roseanne?
All righty, thank you, sir. In Manhattan. I'm Ted Koppel.
This is the Tri-State Area's news leader, Channel 7 Eyewitness News, with Bill Butel, Diana Williams, Scott Clark with sports, Sam Champion with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast, and the Eyewitness News team. Now, Eyewitness News.
Live coverage from Newscopter 7. A bolt of lightning ignites a gasoline storage tank in New Jersey. 3 million gallons of fuel are burning, and there's fear it could spread. Hundreds of people have been evacuated from the danger zone.
Good evening. I'm Bill Butel.
And I'm Diana Williams.
In Woodbridge, New Jersey tonight, a desperate struggle against the blistering heat and roaring flames of a huge inferno fed by 3 million gallons of gasoline. The burning tank is in the heart of Shell's largest retail distribution center in this country. And because of the danger, Woodbridge has been declared a state of emergency. Our coverage begins now as David Navarro live in Woodbridge. David?
Well, we're about a quarter of a mile from the burning storage tank, and you can feel the heat radiating from here. A look from above tells the story of just how intense and how dangerous this fire really is. We're going to say that right now, and here's the video from above. It is quite a scene. Being next to it is even more dramatic. Emergency management officials are draining the burning tank into another tank about a quarter of a mile away. But there is a real concern this fire will spread to other tanks, causing a major disaster. Tonight, the night sky over Woodbridge Township burns with a golden fury. A storage tank containing close to 3 million gallons of gasoline erupted into a huge ball of flames after a fast-moving storm sent a bolt of lightning crashing into the tank at around 4 p.m.
I was just watching the rain, and I was watching the lightning, and I seen the lightning hit right over the side of the bridge, and I knew it hit some because I heard the explosion.
Emergency management officials say it was a freak accident. The storage tanks are designed to withstand lightning strikes, but somehow something went wrong.
The lightning probably hit in a place where it could ignite
before it went through the lightning system and went down. And because there were some vapors in there, perhaps a faulty seal or something like that, it blew the tank apart.
The smoke and flames from the Shell oil storage facility could be seen for miles as emergency crews from the surrounding area descend on the scene. Water is being pumped out of the Arthur Kill, and a special solution is being used to wet down all the nearby tanks. But the fire is causing not only the walls of the one tank to blister and melt, but now also is threatening the integrity of at least 4 nearby tanks as well.
That tank is in poor condition. It's falling apart as the fire is burning down. Part of it is bending out, part of it's bending in. The fire is literally melting the tank as it comes down.
So far, we have only 2 minor injuries to report. 2 PSE&G workers were stunned while working on a power line. Should the fire remain contained, the mayor fears it could last another 48 hours. Reporting live from Woodbridge Township, David Navarro, Channel 7 Eyewitness News. And now with a look at the impact this is having on the community, here's Jay DeDapper. Jay?
Well, David, as you mentioned, the mayor has declared a state of emergency in this part of Woodbridge. This is the Seawarren section. That means that the people who were asked to leave have now been forced to leave by the law. For most people, it seemed like the prudent thing to do. For most, but not all. They have lived in the shadow of the tank farm for years, but tonight hundreds of Seawarren residents have been forced to flee their pretty tree-lined streets in the shadow of a towering blowtorch.
Go evacuate, folks.
Evacuations began about 2 hours after the blast. Police going door to door telling homeowners to get out and stay out for perhaps as long as 2 days.
Oh, I don't want to leave my home, but
look at that.
I know. They said the tanks are heating up, and they don't know what's going to happen.
I got the kids here, and I got my mother here, and I think so. I don't mess around.
Most were quick to grab what they needed and go.
I deliver gasoline for a living. I respect it. I'm out of here.
But others, like 82-year-old John Kazmarek, were having none of it.
I got too much involved in this house. I lived here all my life.
You're not worried about that?
No. Why didn't they evacuate people when it first started?
Still, by early evening, as the area was turned over to weary firefighters, most in this section of Seawarren had gone.
I just finished painting my entire home myself, so I really hate to leave right now. But, I just...
For safety reasons,
safer
you think?
ground, yeah. Hopefully, when it burns itself out.
And again, all of these people have left this neighborhood 2 blocks out from this inferno as it's burning, as you see it now, live from Newscopter 7. Again, the major concern and all the effort being put into this place right now, not to putting the fire out, but to cooling down the surrounding tanks, because as David Navarro reported, there's been some signs of buckling, some heat damage, and it could be another 48 hours before the people can come back home. We're live in the Seawarren section of Woodbridge Township. J.D. Dafford, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Okay, J.D. and David, thank you very much. We'll go back live to the scene of
BMW, the official mobility provider for the 1996 Olympic Torch Relay.
Welcome back to WeatherScope. I'm Terry Smith.
And I'm Sharon Rizal, and it's time now for our Olympic Torch update. The torch traveled 146 miles today from Syracuse to Albany, New York. The torch relay will cover 15,000 miles in 84 days and arrive in Atlanta, Georgia on July 19th. And runners were dodging the rain today. Temperatures were in the upper 70s before showers moved through the area. Once the rain cleared the trail, some places cooled down to readings in the 60s. Let's take a look now at the forecast for tomorrow's run. Well, it's bad enough you got to run in the clouds when it's cloudy like that, but you have to dodge the raindrops too, but they seem to be having a pretty festive time of it. We'll take a look as we head on into the northeast, and we'll take you right on into, let's see, is it going to go for me again? Let's just zoom in a little bit closer.